She works in York. She has some great insight on how we can go about improving our sleep, both naturally and by the use of acupuncture. And as you know, there's very little Western medicine offers for those people who can't sleep. And I think sleep is a contributor to virtually every health problem that is out there. So in the last video, Tiziana talked about the consequences of poor sleep. Today we wanted to talk a little bit about nutrition and the role of nutrition in our sleep and how improving our nutrition could help with our sleep. So welcome again.
Thank you.
Excellent. So tell me a little bit about how important you think nutrition is when it comes to improving our sleep.
Well, I think it's very important. Again, nutrition is another major pillar of good health. So no matter what I'm treating people, I always ask them about diet, what they eat and what they drink, and when as well. And so in terms of treating insomnia and sleep problems, one of the first things that I look at is caffeine intake. Because I'm afraid, I ask people not to have any caffeine.
At all? Or?
It depends on the severity. If somebody is like really severe sleep problems, then I say no caffeine at all, no coffee, no tea, no chocolate, but if the problems are not so severe, then I'd say, okay, if you can't give up your morning cup, at least don't have any caffeine after 12, after midday, because caffeine can stay in your system for many, many hours after consumption.
So no caffeine after midday,
I would say so.
And no tea after midday,
Mm-hmm.
No chocolate after midday.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Alcohol is another big culprit.
Okay.
So particularly in the evening, a lot of people say, alcohol helps me go to sleep, it relaxes me. It gives you, what I would say is, maybe it gives you the illusion
of going to sleep, yeah.
Yeah, but then you wake up at night, it actually disrupts your sleep. So I would say no alcohol either. For a while, it's not going to be forever, but
What about processed food? Do you think that affects our sleep?
Definitely, absolutely. So I recommend a nice, simple diet, organic if possible. I understand it's not always possible because it can be pricey, but nice and simple. I have a protein with every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and vegetables. A small amount of carbs, perhaps mainly in the morning and lunchtime. And lots of water. Hydration is very important.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't. I mean, I'm guilty of that as well. I don't think I keep well hydrated.
So sip it throughout the day.
Yeah.
So instead of having it in big gulps, have a water filter on your desk or a bottle of water and just sip it throughout the day. And when you wake up in the morning, have 1 or 2 glasses of water. And what we say in Chinese medicine is not to have anything that is too cold in terms of foods and drinks. So don't have water from the fridge. So room temperature or lukewarm.
Just lukewarm water. Okay, great. Anything else with regards to nutrition? We were talking about meal sizes and...
Yeah, not to have too big a meal at nighttime and not too late. Because if you have a big meal that just sits there on your stomach, it can really disrupt your sleep.
Okay, so and what would you say it's too late? 4 hours before
more or less.
Going to sleep?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else with regards to nutrition? Any particular foods which are good for sleep, which are bad for sleep? Is there anything like that you've come across?
So, the ones that tend to be bad for sleep, as I say, caffeine, alcohol, carbonated drinks, sodas. Yeah, all the Red Bulls type of things. Yeah, anything that is a stimulant, really. And as I say, it gives you the illusion of energy. But then, you go up and then crash again, and then because you crash you need another stimulant again, and then you crash again, so you go like this throughout the day. And so you might have the illusion of having the energy, but then you crash and you're even more tired than before, and then you need another pick-me-up drink, and then up and down you go.
And I think these crashes probably are very inflammatory to the body as well.
Yes, indeed. Yes, of course.
And the other thing I wanted to ask you about nutrition is magnesium. We don't seem to get enough magnesium these days. A lot of people are probably magnesium deficient. Have you found that? What is your view?
I have, yeah. Well, I think that most of us are magnesium deficient because our foods don't contain as much magnesium anymore, our soils are depleted, stress depletes the body of magnesium, lack of sleep depletes the body of magnesium. So really we need to supplement. Again, ideally we do it with food, but again, food doesn't seem to have as much magnesium anymore. So I recommend magnesium supplements, and I find that the best way to supplement with magnesium is the transdermal magnesium oil spray that you spray onto the skin. I tend to recommend supplements that, if they can bypass the digestive system, because most of us don't have optimal absorption. So if we get something through sublingual or through the skin, it goes straight into the bloodstream and straight where it's needed.
So that's really interesting, because a lot of people have digestion problems as well, and they take these PPIs, proton pump inhibitors, and that stops them from absorbing things like magnesium.
Yes.
So transdermal will bypass the stomach altogether.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, great. And have you ever found that just nutrition has made a big difference to sleep?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Yes, huge.
I must try.
I mean, there's all the nutritionists out there and naturopaths, they don't use needles like me today, and yet they achieve amazing results. But because I have Chinese medicine as another big tool, I combine them all. I combine nutrition, a little bit of counseling, and my needles. So. Yeah.
Maybe in our next video we could talk about stress and stress and how that plays a role with our sleep, and then you could perhaps even talk to us about sleep hygiene and what other things we could do to try and improve our sleep.
Yes, of course.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, so if someone wanted to contact you and ask you any questions, would you be happy for them to do so?
Yes, I'd be very happy.
And your website is?
So it's www.yorktraditionalacupuncture.co.uk.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.